We begin this final segment where the prior one ended, with the promise of the gathered, scattered church. When we learn to support and affirm our scattered ministries like we do our gathered ministries, we will find that ministry expands exponentially, our gathering becomes more vital, and many of the burdens that leaders carry are lifted. In order to do this, we would do well to pay attention to Mark 8:35. Those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake and for the sake of the gospel will save it. When asked, pastors and members alike speak to the awareness that ministry is happening in our daily lives. We who preach and we who listen know that we are called to die to ourselves for the sake of the other. Where I want to push the envelope and maybe even step on toes is in regard to our corporate lives, dying to the need to prop up the institutional church, at least as we have known it. What would it mean to die to our fear of decline and our need to fix our problems? What would it mean to lose our corporate lives for the sake of the gospel? Now we've asked the daring question. Before I say anything more, let me repeat what I said earlier. I support the work of the gathered church, gathered ministers, and gathered ministries. What we do when we gather is critically important, and it needs to continue. When I talk about becoming as good at the scattering as we are at our gathering, I'm not saying that we couldn't become better at the gathering. We all know that we could and that we want to. When I raise the prospect of dying to our corporate lives, I'm not saying that we need to diminish the work or the importance of the gathering. What I am saying is that we already know how to identify and describe the many ways in which God calls us to bless the world in and through our congregations. We know how to recruit, support, recognize, and report on ministries that happen there. The challenge is to die to our compulsion to assure the future of our congregations. The challenge is to die to our need to draw in more people and rise to the possibilities of meeting and loving our neighbors in the world. Here's what I'd like you to consider. If we're serious about connecting faith and life in the world, if we're serious about empowering and supporting ministry in daily life, why are we competing to take people out of the world? Dare we instead die to our corporate selves, to our all-consuming preoccupation with the health of our congregations, so that we can focus on helping all the baptized embody God's love in the tasks and relationships of our everyday lives? When we are the body of Christ gathered, can we find ways to equip the saints for the various vocations given to us as the body of Christ scattered, as parents, workers, students, voters, teammates, or volunteers? In short, can we find the courage to hold both life in the church and life in the world as equal parts of a single reality? Thank you for your time and considering these critical issues. Your on-site leader will give you some questions that will help you focus on what you can do in your congregation. I pray God's blessings on you as you become a church that sees the scattering as an equal partner to the gathering.